Greetings, everyone. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my mind, my head, whatever. Anyway, update time again. Yeah, sorry there hasn't been any videos for a couple of days, but as I think I explained in my Vegas titling tutorial the other day, I have been deathly ill over the past, well, almost week, and I've only just got my voice back today to any, usable extent. So I thought, well, let's not waste any time. Let's get back into some updates. So what do we got going on today? Well, good question. I've actually got four, count them, four updates left to do. I thought I had two, but then I remembered a couple of other things, and I actually picked up some other stuff recently as well. So there's four, of which this is the first of the four. All right, let's not waste any time. What are we going to talk about today? Good question. Let's go with sci-fi comedy. How about a little Red Dwarf? Yeah, a lot of you have been wanting to see my Red Dwarf DVD collection for a very long time. Well, I added something to it a little while ago, and what better excuse to show you the whole darn collection and talk about it a little bit. So that's what we're going to do today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Now, Red Dwarf is something that I can go on at great length about, so I'm going to try to be good, and we're only going to talk about the DVD releases and stuff today, because that's really all I want to cover. To go into the whole backstory of how I discovered the show and how it's personally significant to me, and a lot of the other Red Dwarf stuff I have. Well, honestly, I don't have a lot of other stuff, basically the books and the script books and some fan zines and some magazines with articles in them and the audiobooks, and okay, I guess I do have a lot of Red Dwarf stuff. Anyway, let's put the hands down and put them on the DVDs, and then put the DVDs on the music stand so you can see them. Alrighty, so I really don't need to give you much of an introduction. Red Dwarf is a science fiction comedy series created by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. I guess they did produce it in most of the seasons. It's freaking hilarious. It's awesome. It works as a straight-ahead sci-fi series as well as a hilarious sci-fi comedy series. If you are a science fiction fan, if you are a British science fiction fan, if you are a comedy fan, you owe it to yourself to check out Red Dwarf at some point. It is a classic. The original series ran for 8 seasons. It recently came back as a 3-part miniseries, and one of the reasons I'm doing this video now is because it was just recently confirmed, it's been in rumor territory for a while, that they are in fact reuniting the entire original cast and doing Red Dwarf Series 10. Yes, Series 10. Now, the show has gone on hiatus a number of times over the years. They did the first 3 series, and then it went on hiatus for about a year, came back, did Series 4, 5, and 6, went on hiatus for another couple of years, came back and did Series 7, went on hiatus for another couple of years, came back, did Series 8, went on hiatus for about 10 years, then did Series 9, went on hiatus again for a couple of years, and now they're finally doing Series 10. And that pretty much gives you the whole broadcast history in a nutshell. Alrighty, without any further ado, the complete Red Dwarf collection on Region 1 DVD. Series 1, 2-disc set. Series 2, 2-disc set. Series 3, 2-disc set. Series 4, 2-disc set. Series 5, 2-disc set. Series 6, 2-disc set. Now, Series 1 through 6 were all 6 half-hour episodes per season. Being broadcast on the BBC, they are a full half-hour, well, give or take a minute or two, per episode, because, of course, the regular BBC channels don't actually have commercials. It's kind of like PBS here in North America. The only difference is the citizens' taxes pay for the BBC programming, whereas PBS here is paid for by donations. So then Series 7, which sadly Rob Grant parted ways with Doug Naylor and went off to do his own thing. So Doug Naylor basically took over as the sole original creator to do the series. Series 7 and 8 both have 8 episodes apiece. And I should mention I did get the collector's edition of Series 8, which has a little Scudder toy in it. Let's get a bit of a better look at that, shall we? Excuse me. Still battling this cold. There we go. As you can see, I did keep him in the plastic there. He's just kind of a flimsy little giveaway thing. But, I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool. Picked it up just as a collector's item because I'm just a freak for all things Red Dwarf. I think in the UK, some of the DVD sets came with some other goodies, but here in North America, the only deluxe set we got was for Series 8, and that was it, unfortunately. But I keep that, and I cherish it. Now, I'm very happy that these were released on DVD when they were, because, well, I will freely admit that these season sets are very expensive here. I typically see them going for about 30 or 40 bucks a piece. But in the defense of these releases, they are loaded with content, and we'll go over the extras in just a moment. I just wanted to say that I was really glad that they were released when they were, because it was at a time when Annetta and I were both working government jobs and had a shit ton of disposable income. So it was really no problem for me to pick these all up, more or less as they came out. Excuse me. This is actually the best my voice has been in about a week, so I'm hoping that it improves dramatically over the next few days. Yeah, so anyway, each set is absolutely loaded with extras. Let's just, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown here of everything. Start with Series 1, which has 6 episodes on it. And this box here is the list of extras. This is really why I feel that these sets are worth what they're worth. Now you got a nice 2-disc set, nice disc art on each one. Disc 1 is basically all 6 episodes of the season, and Disc 2 is nothing but extras. One thing I should mention about the extras is all of these sets have collections of deleted scenes and outtakes. The outtakes are hilarious. It's obvious they had a great time doing this. They also all have these insert booklets, which give you not only synopses of the episodes, but just a wealth of behind-the-scenes information about the making of the show. I mean, seriously, no Red Dwarf fan should not have these. I mean, this is just an absolute fantastic deluxe set of this series. Excuse me. And speaking of the deleted scenes, it's like a half yawn, half cough, kind of annoying. There are so many deleted scenes and so much material that, and you know, alternate takes and alternate cuts, things they later reshot and redid from the ground up. There's so much deleted material on these sets that collectively, over the course of the 8 volumes, you basically get the equivalent of an entire extra season of material. It's really quite something. So on this particular one, we have cast commentary. So the entire cast does commentary on all 6 episodes. You've got writer and director commentary for episode 1. That's Rob Grant, Doug Naylor, and Ed Bye. Ed Bye directed most of the episodes, and of course Rob Grant and Doug Naylor created it and wrote the majority of the series together. Deleted scenes, smeg-ups as they call, which is the outtakes. The original BBC trailer, launching Red Dwarf documentary, which gives you some idea of just how much hell they went through to get it on the air in the first place. The Japanese version of the end, so you get to see the pilot episode in Japanese, which is awesome. Special effects, raw footage. Now, that is really cool. I got to really mention the model work in this show. This was before the days of CG. Red Dwarf originally started in 1987, and the last series was 1999. So over the course of that period, I mean, only the last couple of seasons really have any CG, and then the rest of them are all good old-fashioned model work shot on film. And it looks fantastic. They really did a great job on the model work. I mean, they poured a lot of their budget just into getting like stock shots of the models that they could reuse over and over, and they look fantastic. So if you're interested at all in like old school effects techniques and model work and such, this is really a gold mine of material, because this has as I say, the special effects raw footage, which is basically the original raw footage of those model shots. So you get to see a lot of the model shots that they used in the show, but you also get to see a lot of the alternate takes and messed up takes and stuff like that. And you really get a sense of just how much work went into the model shots. They didn't do quite as many for the first couple of series. It was mostly just flybys of Red Dwarf itself, which is the big mining ship that most of the show takes place on. But from Series 3 onward, you get a lot of shots of Starbug and Blue Midget, and you even get some looks at sketches of White Midget, which was actually never used, although it is mentioned in the show. I could, as I say, I could go on about Red Dwarf for days. We also have isolated music cues, so anyone who's ever wanted to have the soundtrack of the show and loves Howard Goodall's music. Howard Goodall, by the way, is the same guy who did the music for Mr. Bean. So if you've ever seen Mr. Bean, you've heard music by the same guy who did the music for Red Dwarf. Very cool stuff. So anyway, it has isolated music cues, so you can actually hear almost all of the music cues from the episodes, like for that particular season. So over the course of the 8 volumes, again, you basically have a very comprehensive music soundtrack for the show, which is really cool to have. Audiobook chapters, because there was actually 4 audiobooks written based on the show, and they actually expanded the novels, I should say, that the audiobooks are audiobooks of, expanded quite a lot on the story of the show. I mean, for the most part, they do adapt some episodes from the show, but they also give you a lot more backstory and information about the characters and situations and whatnot that really embellish and elaborate on the story, and they really function just as proper novels. I'll talk about the novels another time, because that's like a whole video in itself. But anyway, they did some really good audiobooks of them, which I have the abridged versions of, well, the first 2 anyway, on audio cassette, no less, which was performed by Chris Berry, who plays Rimmer in this. And Chris Berry, one of his sort of claims to fame is he's really good at doing impressions. So as he's doing the reading of the audiobook, he not only creates new character voices for all of the secondary characters in it, but does almost bang-on impersonations of the actual cast of the show. So if you ever get your hands on those audiobooks and you're a Red Dwarf fan, you're really in for a treat. There's both abridged and unabridged versions. Good luck tracking them down. I don't know how widely available they are. Anyway, so you got audiobook chapters, photo gallery, a web link. I don't think I've ever tried that. 12-page collector's booklet, and there's Easter eggs on here as well. You actually get a few little goodies that you can hunt down. Then Series 2, I'm not going to bother pulling the booklets out for each one, but suffice to say each one has the 12-page booklet, which is quite nice. Let's just spin this around here so we get a bit of a better look at it. There we go. So again, same thing again. When they released these on DVD originally, they put them out 2 series at a time. I should mention also, for a brief time in the early 90s, they re-released the first 3 series in so-called remastered editions. And what they did with the remastered editions was actually redid a lot of the effects shots with new CG effects shots. And they also applied this sort of simulated film effect to the image. The original show was shot on video, like just in a studio, shot in front of a live studio audience as well, which is something you don't see very often nowadays. And so for the remastered version, they did a new opening title sequence. They did more CG effects and just changed things a lot. And they even dubbed over some of the lines to make it more appealing to international audiences, because some of the jokes can be quite British at times. And fans were pretty ticked off about that. I mean, they just saw it as like, why are you going back and doing that? You're just making it crappy. You know, you're tampering with... It was basically George Lucasing it. This was around the time that George Lucas did the special editions. So Doug Naylor decided to do the same thing with the early Red Dwarf episodes, and fans did not like it. The remastered versions were released on VHS. They have not appeared on DVD. I am very happy to say. You will notice, actually I think they did the first 4 series like that. You will notice that it says the original Series 2, meaning it is not the remastered version. It is the original version as originally broadcast, and the version that fans are fans of. So yeah, I've never actually seen the remastered versions all the way through. I've only seen clips, and I wouldn't mind checking them out just for curiosity's sake. But these will always be the definitive versions for me. I mean, these are the versions I first saw, and the versions that I will always love. So, with Red Dwarf 2, here we once again have cast commentary on all 6 episodes, deleted scenes, Smeg-Up's original trailer, Red Dwarf A to Z documentary, which is a really good documentary about... It actually aired on television, I believe, in Britain, and it basically features little interviews with just countless celebrities and notable people, and things like that about their sort of take on Red Dwarf and whatnot. And it's just a really fun little documentary. An interview with Doug Naylor, excuse me, alternative personalities featurette, Tongue Tied Uncut, which is a music video / dream sequence that the cat has, and you actually get the full-length version of that music video. It just appears in slightly shortened form on the 6th episode of Series 2. But it's a lot of fun. Again, more special effects, raw footage, isolated music cues, audiobook chapters, photo gallery, web link. Again, a 12-page collector's booklet and a hidden Easter egg. I think there's more than one Easter egg on here. Most of them have more than one. Then, Series 3. Red Dwarf 3. This was the one where Rob Grant and Doug Naylor actually took over as producers and were actually making the show more, as far as more like how they originally envisioned it, and finally weren't being told what to do. So here again we have just disc 1 of the series and then disc 2 of extras. Great stuff, and a nice 12-page booklet once again. We have cast commentary. All Change original documentary talks about the difference between Series 3 and the previous 2, and how Rob and Doug took over and why that was a good thing. Deleted scenes, Smeg-Ups, Hattie's DJ Diary. Hattie Hayridge takes over as another stand-up comedian. A lot of these come from stand-up comedian backgrounds. Takes over as Holly, the ship's computer in this one. First 2 series were done by the brilliant and hilarious Norman Lovett. Tribute to Mel Bibby, who I believe was the production designer on the show. Food featurette. Backwards Forwards, which is the famous backwards episode played backwards, so all the backwards sequences can now be seen forwards. Pretty cool. Trailers, raw effects footage, isolated music cues, audiobook chapters, photo gallery, web link, 12-page collector's booklet, and Easter eggs. So you can see it's a very similar selection of extras, just like each batch of things pertaining to that specific series. So it's very, very thorough. And here we have Red Dwarf 4. And the back there. And then inside. Oh, that's right. I was actually watching Series 4. Is it still in the computer here? Yes, it is. There it is. And there's the disc for Red Dwarf 4 there. So let's actually put that back in. Yeah, another reason why I'm doing these today. And here actually we did get some collector's cards. Quite nice. Which of course I keep with everything there. So here again we have cast commentary on all 6 episodes. Built to Last, original documentary. Deleted scenes, Smeg-Ups, Ace Rimmer, A Life in Lamé, Lerv featurette, Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg special, which I believe is a cooking special, featuring Red Dwarf cast members. Trailers, raw effects footage, isolated music cues, audiobook chapters, photo gallery, web link, 12-page collector's booklet, and Easter eggs. Let me double check here. Did Red Dwarf 3 come with anything? Nope, it didn't. I thought maybe it would come with some other collector's cards, but apparently not. Alright, and then moving right along, we have Red Dwarf 5, which has a lot of fan favorite episodes on it. It's just a great one. Oh, there we go. We got some more cards there, as well as the booklet, of course. And the disc is upside down. Spin that around. The trays are really nice here. They don't scratch the discs at all. The hubs are snug and easy to remove the discs. Warner Brothers did a really good job on this set, I have to say. It's very, very nice. So Red Dwarf 5, we again have cast commentary on all 6 episodes. Fan commentary on Back to Reality, which is one of the big favorite episodes. Heavy Science, original documentary. Deleted scenes, Smeg-Ups. Dwarfing USA, a documentary on the making of the U.S. pilot. Yeah, they tried to bring this over to the U.S. in the form of a, how a lot of British shows have been brought over and turned into American versions, like The Office, for example, would be one. Three's Company would be another example. The original British version is called Man About the House. They tried to do the same thing with Red Dwarf, and it didn't get past the pilot stage. They actually did 2 pilots, one a full episode and one sort of a trailer with some new material. Yeah, it didn't do so well, and I've seen both versions, and quite frankly, while I did like some of the cast that they had chosen, like I thought Craig Bierko was actually pretty good as an American Lister, I just don't think it would have worked as well. Yeah, it's just too British. You know, it really you can't beat the original. So anyway, we have we got that. We got a featurette on Bad Guys, the special effects of Red Dwarf 5, because there's actually a lot more effects work in this one than there were in the previous seasons. Trailers, idents, and episode intro, raw effects, footage, isolated music cues. Dave Holland's radio sketch. Dave Holland's Space Cadet was a recurring sketch on Son of Cliche, which was a radio series that Rob Grant and Doug Naylor used to write. And it was very much the sort of genesis of the Red Dwarf idea. It was basically about this guy in space talking to his computer. And it was just kind of a little short segment on that show. Anyway, so they have some of the original radio sketches on here as a bonus, which is pretty cool. Photo gallery, web link, 12-page collector's booklet, and Easter eggs. Very nice indeed. Let's actually try to move that a little bit. There we go. Won't be quite so precarious. And then Red Dwarf 6. Red Dwarf 6 is notable, and it was the first season that actually had a season-long story arc. It was very, very cool. Very well done. And also took place primarily on Starbug. They actually, one of the big parts of the story arc was they were looking for Red Dwarf. Apparently Lister had parked it somewhere and couldn't find it. So that storyline would actually not be resolved until the end of Series 7. So it was quite a lengthy arc as far as Red Dwarf goes, especially considering there was a couple of years between Series 6 and 7. So once again, we have cast commentary, fan commentary on Gunmen of the Apocalypse, one of the all-time favorite episodes, basically the obligatory Western episode that every science fiction show has at some point. The Starbuggers original documentary, deleted scenes, Smeg-Ups, Howard Goodall settling the score. Finally, we get a featurette about Howard Goodall and some of the fantastic music he did for the show. Behind-the-scenes footage, interview with director Andy Demeny, trailers, raw effects footage, isolated music cues, another Dave Holland sketch, photo gallery, web link, 12-page collector's booklet, and Easter eggs. And if we take a quick look at the packaging here, it's really tough going through this many volumes of DVDs in one video. This is going to be a lengthy one, I think. But I don't think you guys will mind because it's Red Dwarf. And we got more collector's cards. Very nice. Should probably pull those and put them in a binder or something. That'd be nice to have actual proper access to those. I've got a lot of cards from movies and TV shows and such over the years. I should really do that. So then we got Red Dwarf 7. Very cool. Once again, we have cast commentary, Back from the Dead, original documentary, deleted scenes, Smeg-Ups, Identity Within, the Lost episode, Robert Llewellyn video diary, fan films, The Winning Shorts, Burning Rubber featurette, How Did They Do That, the effects, trailers, and Crichton introductions, raw effects footage, isolated music cues, Dave Holland's radio sketches, photo gallery, web link, 16-page collector's booklet, remastered Ticket to Ride, plus Easter eggs. I should mention this also has alternate versions of 3 of the episodes. Ticket to Ride, Ouroboros, and Duck Soup all have the original broadcast versions and extended versions that you can choose from. I tend to go with the extended versions just because it's more Red Dwarf. Although many people would argue that the televised versions are paced better and the extended versions are a little bit off in terms of pacing. So again, we have this beautiful booklet, more cards, and this time it's actually a 3-disc set, I think, to compensate for the fact that, well, I mean, it's 8 episodes long instead of 6, and also to compensate for the fact there's extended material here, so it just gives a little bit more space for the episodes to breathe without having to squash them on so much. So nice bit rate throughout, and very good. Nice 3-disc set. Yeah, a lot of fans don't care so much for the later 2 seasons, but I always liked them. I don't know. I must be crazy. But anyway, then we got the final series of the regular show, Red Dwarf 8. Excuse me. I really should have split this up into a couple of episodes. Anyway, so we once again have 8 episodes on 2 discs and then a 3rd disc of extras. We've got cast commentary, The Tank, original documentary, deleted scenes, Smeg-Ups, comedy connections, Red Dwarf special, supermodels featurette, storyboard sequences, children in need sketch, PBS sketches and idents, fight featurette, trailers, raw effects footage, isolated music cues, another Dave Collins sketch, photo gallery, web link, 16-page collector's booklet, Back in the Red extended version, which is a 3-part story that they kicked off the season with, plus Easter eggs. That is a very nice loaded set. And again, we got more cards. So it seems like from Series 4 onward they included cards with them. And there we go. There's all the discs. Then, finally, 10 years or so later, Red Dwarf came back in high definition. Yes, we got this 3-part miniseries entitled Back to Earth, which, of course, I picked up on Blu-ray. I should mention as an aside, Red Dwarf actually beat Doctor Who to being the first to go high def. Torchwood beat them both, but I just, I don't consider Torchwood anywhere near as big as Doctor Who. So I consider Red Dwarf and Doctor Who to be the 2 big sci-fi shows on the BBC. And so, yeah, Red Dwarf 9 went high def before Doctor Who. Take that, Doctor. Not too shabby. I actually liked Back to Earth. I know a lot of fans didn't. They didn't feel that it was up to snuff with the others. They're no longer doing it in front of a live audience. It's just not the way things are done now. But I really enjoyed it because, a lot of it was not only just a return to good old-fashioned Red Dwarf, but I also liked it because the whole thing is a big Blade Runner parody, which, of course, I love. Now, I did used to have most of the original VHS releases. In future Multimedia Chronicles Retro episodes, you'll actually hear me mention those from time to time. The only ones that I still have are these ones, the Smeg Ups. Quite nice. This is a collection of bloopers, outtakes, and deleted moments from, I believe, series 4, 5, and 6 of the series. And then I also have Smeg Outs, which was released second, but actually contains outtakes from series 1, 2, and 3. And that's quite nice. And the reason I keep these around is because they contain material that is not available on the DVDs or is in slightly altered form on the DVDs. Like some of the outtakes on the DVDs have like their lips blurred out when they cuss in the in the outtakes, whereas they have the audio bleeped out sometimes in the VHS tapes, but they don't cover up the mouths. That just irritates me when they do that. It's like, okay, we know they said fuck, just leave it at that, okay? So the other thing is with these 2 tapes is they basically contain new host segments with Crichton and Lister. So, and they have never been represented on any of the DVDs. So, I like that. That's pretty good. It's fun stuff for fans. They also answer fan questions and just do a lot of light ribbing back and forth and whatnot. And it's just a nice little fun thing to have as a fan, Yeah. I'm going to go drink gallons of water and get better. So there you go. That is my Red Dwarf DVD collection. This is the one that I wanted to update you on that prompted this whole big, massive spiel. I think I crammed a lot of info into that. Anyway, if you're a fan of Red Dwarf, definitely pick up the DVDs. They're available in all over the world, basically. So you should be able to find them for whatever region you're in fairly easily. These are, of course, the Region 1 NTSC versions. The Region 2 UK versions, I believe, have the exact same covers. I don't think there's any difference between them at all. I know that all the contents are the same on both of them, so enjoy. And unlike the Doctor Who releases over here, we actually did get all the inserts, which is nice, because with the Doctor Who ones, we don't get booklets or anything, but I understand the UK versions do. Well, with Red Dwarf, they didn't skimp. They actually gave us all the content that I'm aware of. I think the only difference is, I think there were a few more sort of pack-in things like this in the UK that sadly we did not get here. But at least we got the Scudder. Can't complain about that. Alrighty, you smegheads. That is it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.